What is popping, y'all? It's been a minute. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you're about to witness and see. And if you've been here before, this is a little different than what you have seen already. Usually I'm out here reviewing a show, reviewing movies, interviewing people. You've seen a lot of interviews. I appreciate y'all for sticking through it, brother. And we had some time to revitalize, revamp, and redo some things over here at this channel. We'll do some reviews still here and there now and then, but we're gonna start focusing in on things that's going on today, things that's kind of affecting the world as it is, and getting all the people's opinions about things. Kind of similar. If you see my shorts, if you've seen some of my vlogs where I interview people, you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, especially. You've seen all my interviews. But I decided I'm going to bring the interviews from the streets to the podcast, more so to say, and get the people's point of view on what's really going down with various things that comes to the news, sports, events, etc. If you have something that you want to talk about, feel free to DM me and maybe I can slide you on here and we'll go through it. But this is something where we getting real on and we getting down to the nitty gritty with. And you could compare it, I guess, to a sense, maybe format of a Joe Rogan podcast or a First Take on ESPN. Kind of, I guess, a rough blueprint, but this is just a little different where I'm bringing everyday people who you don't know, but really know what they talking about. Well, they say they know what they're talking about. It's the DeAndre way show where DeAndre is, I'm giving my way of things, but it's important to hear others out as well. And especially when I'm giving reviews and my takes on things, I want to hear what y'all have to say. And that's where we're going. So this is the first episode of that. This segment is the Way Network podcast segment. And my first, I do a lot of, y'all know I do a lot of sports content. Been to all the football games, basketball games, baseball, everything. And so I thought, what better way to get it started than to talk about some sports from the city that I live in, New York City, with someone who's from New York and thinks that they know, they think that they know a lot about what's going down. And I'm gonna see what's going down. This is hopefully the truth will come out. And we're gonna get to it, y'all. So it's time. Let's get this show on the road. Welcome, y'all. This is my first guest. I know if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, you can't see, but my first guest is Coach J. Hashtag TMQ. That's the name he going by today. Coach J, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me on the show, DeAndre. I appreciate everybody for taking the time to watch me and hear my takes today. My name is Coach J. I'm born and raised in Long Island, New York. I'm living out in Manhattan now, and I'm really coming on to the show today to talk about a very specific topic, and that is the fact that I like the most losingest, I don't even know if that's a word, most losingest sports trio that could ever be liked as a New York fan. And those teams are the Jets, the Mets, and the Knicks. But once we get good, we're on the uptrend.
So why did you pick those three, that combination out of all the combinations you could have picked? I know New Yorkers, they kind of have a million teams to choose from. Why you pick those?
Listen, Dre, I mean, that's just, there's some things you're born into. And unfortunately those were the decisions that were, made from the higher ups in my family. And you can't, not everybody could be a bandwagon and like the Chiefs or something. But
Okay. Well. Look now. I don't know if bandwagon is the right word. I think you mean dynasty. That's a better word. I know New York don't know nothing about no dynasties unless you're talking about the Yankees way back in the day, maybe early 2000s. I guess you could call that dynasty. But you ain't a Yankees fan, so you don't really know nothing about no damn dynasty.
not yet, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay. So when it comes to Okay, well, when it comes to the New Yorkers, and you said you were born into those, so New Yorkers pretty much, I guess you say they should root for the teams that their parents root for. Is that correct?
That's what I believe. I truly believe that. I believe that if you like a team, if you go against your father's wishes and like a team that's different, you should be you should be exiled from the family.
Really? Wow. That's a bold statement. I mean, shouldn't, it's okay to have, freedom of choice. What about that? Like what if, you know, you just don't have a taste for the Jets and you want to go for the Giants because maybe your favorite color is blue. Is that fair?
I mean, there's something about the teams that I was born into where it has become a personality trait of loyalty. So
Mm.
if you're not rocking with the Mets, the Jets, the Knicks, and I was to say one day as an 8-year-old, yeah, let me like the Giants. They just won the Super Bowl with Eli Manning and they got Michael Strahan and all these cool dudes and Plaxico Burress. Let me like them. No, you can't do that. So it's a symbol of loyalty if you switch sides like that.
Do you know anyone that has done that?
Oh yeah, everybody. So many
Oh,
people.
so if
So many
everyone
people.
does it, then why what's the problem with you doing it if everyone else does it?
If everybody jumps off a bridge, are you going to do it?
I mean, good point, I mean, I'm just saying the parts of switching rooting for which team because 'cause they're all New York teams is my point, like,
No,
why is it bad if you root for one New York team opposed to the other?
it, I you know, I'd want to talk to more. I want to hear another Long Island, New York perspective on this. I know, it might be hard maybe for you to understand that perspective a little bit, being from Kansas City, but there's something about I've never really met a true baseball or basketball or football fan that said that they like the Jets and the Giants or the Mets and the Yankees or the Knicks and the Nets. It's either one or the other. So there's usually a distinct personality too that goes with those teams.
Okay, okay. I mean, I guess you are on Long Island and the closest baseball team is the Mets because 'cause they're in Queens, and, I
Yep.
mean, if you're doing distance proximity, I suppose that makes sense because you are closer to the Knicks at the time because they were in New Jersey for the Nets, so,
Right.
that was that, and then, you said the Jets and the Giants, so that was from your parents, so I guess they're equidistant.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense, that makes sense. It's a tough combination, you pick the worst of each squad. I mean, even the Nets have been to the NBA finals more recently than the Knicks. Uh,
Yeah.
so you definitely picked the hard road to climb, but hey, I guess that builds character. Am I not? Am I right?
It does. It really does. I mean, you know, it's. I like to tell people that I meet for the first time that says a lot about who I am as a person and my ability to just stick through things that maybe are challenging. Um, I've allowed it to take a deeper meaning to my life. So
Okay.
I would say to the people that I'll never change who I am. I'll never change who I like my teams, and I know we're on the uptrend now. So I don't want any bad. I don't like how people are liking on the Knicks all of a sudden now. I don't like how people are liking the Mets all of a sudden. I don't like how the people were Jet fans for 2 seasons, but now you're going to see a whole lot of people pop off that bandwagon. So
Yeah, we
that's
we
all.
definitely getting off that train, coach.
You got that
Burn
right.
the boats. Oh, okay, okay. And then I assume you're an Islanders fan as well. I'm
I,
assuming.
So that's a fair assumption. Being from Long Island, I actually don't really follow hockey too much. But
Oh,
if I had to rock with the hockey team, I'd probably choose the Rangers just because that's
that don't make
who.
sense though. That don't make sense though.
You're right. It doesn't make sense, but that's who. Like I said, that was I think my grandfather or I know my uncle. He's big Rangers fan, so it's kind of in the family too to like the Rangers. But it's not really our family. What that wasn't really one of my top sports growing up to watch. So
Okay, okay,
I,
okay,
I, I'm,
okay.
bi- I
So
could
I guess we'll
yeah.
okay, okay. That's fair. I'm not a big hockey person myself. Kansas City had no hockey team, so except a semi-pro team. Um, I'll say we'll get to it now with each one of your, you're a big fan of these teams. you said, you're expert on these teams and what's going down, and the people slash me have questions that need to be answered. And I'd be out in the streets asking the questions, but I'm back in the sheets of my bed asking the questions now. Um, I guess first we'll start with, what's popping right now is basketball season. The Knicks, they're doing pretty well this season.
Yep.
They have definitely continuing the trend that they had last year of going up. They're 3 seed right now.
Yep.
They're probably looks like they're gonna get stuck with the 3 seed. Like they're nicely in between the 2 and the 4 seed. And if everything sticks out, then they would end up playing the Pistons or the Pace. It's Pistons or Pacers or maybe Bucks. Out of those 3 teams, which do you think the Knicks should want to play the most?
Oof. I mean, probably the Pistons, right? Pistons are kind
They
of
can upset though. They on up.
on the
They would
come
be a
up.
team to upset.
I agree. Kate Cunningham, he's pretty good. They got Isaiah Stewart. I saw that they put up a good fight against Golden State the other day. They're pretty good, but I'd say out of the 3, I mean, Indiana, you saw what they did to us last year, unfortunately. And Giannis, I don't think anybody wants to play Giannis in the first round of the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
I feel like it
Okay.
could be a tough matchup, but I'm taking Detroit to play.
Okay. Well, we'll see. There's still a decent amount of season left, so it could
Yeah.
change. Hawks or Magic could make a run, but doubt that could happen. The Knicks, their biggest comp is obviously the Celtics and the Cavs. I'll more so say the Celtics. The Cavs still got to prove it to me in the playoffs. So I'm not really like high on them at this moment in time. Do you think the Knicks have a legit chance to get to I keep saying NFC. I'm in football mode still. The what is it called?
Final?
The Eastern Conference playoff, the Eastern Conference Finals. Eastern
Eastern
Conference
Conference
Finals.
Final. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think hands down, if Jalen Brunson gets healthy, so I don't know if you're aware, Jalen Brunson had just sprained his ankle about a couple nights ago against
Hmm.
Golden State, so he's going to be expected to miss some time. Assuming that Brunson can get healthy, in a few weeks, they get their stride back. I know Mitch Robinson, we just got him back. So he's a baller. So between if Brunson gets healthy, this team can absolutely make the conference finals. Now, if we're talking about finals, that's going to be tougher, Boston, but I still think we can give Boston a run for their money.
Well, if they end up in the 3 seed, and it looks like Boston might be stuck in the 2 seed because they're 8 games back, 7 or 8 games back of the 1 seed. I'm shocked if they make the 1 seed. So if they're the 2 seed, they would play the Knicks in the second round.
Yeah,
I don't know, coach.
well, that'll be a
I
whole
mean,
nother.
I think the Knicks would want to play the Cavs more than the Celtics until you get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I agree.
That's just my opinion.
I agree.
Um, and also the Knicks, it said they're signing
PJ
PJ
Tucker.
Tucker. You think
Yeah,
that's gonna do anything? Like he's old as hell,
he's
and
lead,
collects sneakers.
he leads the league over the last few seasons in corner threes. Tell me,
Really?
tell me a time, a stat you ever put that up.
I mean, definitely that's interesting. He's old as hell and doesn't,
I know
he's a good player. I like TJ Tucker. I think he's a good dude and he definitely plays hard. And the Knicks need somebody kind of like him to be kind of the more not bully, but I guess bodyguard for the other players. And
we need
so
that. Yeah, we don't right now. We don't really have like a tough guy that I feel like is going to stand up for.
definitely not Carl Anthony Towns. I heard he was duck. Oh, speaking of him, what's up with him ducking the smoke from Jimmy Butler,
Right,
coach?
he wasn't ducking smoke. He was not at that game because his wife had was dealing. They were dealing with a death in the family.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
so they want to make excuses. Draymond wants to go crazy on his podcast. No, that's weak, man. That's just weak.
You don't
So
respect Draymond?
nah, not at all. He looks like Tabata Mitch, the guy who does Madden videos. Look him up. Type in Tabata Mitch.
Tabata Mitch.
Put it,
Okay.
put, it, put his face up on the screen right now. But
Oh, I gotta plug my laptop. My laptop got unplugged. Okay.
I don't I don't really rock with Draymond like that. I mean, he's a champion. I respect him, but I think that he has bigger aspirations. He wants to do a podcast. So that's cool. Get out of the NBA then.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably have about 2 years left, I think. Once Steph retires, I think Draymond's gonna retire around the same time, or maybe go to one other team for, like, a year or 2
Yeah.
and then be done, probably LeBron's team, knowing Draymond, and then call it a day. Because I don't think his services would work as good anywhere except Golden State, just
Yeah.
because the way he plays, and they're willing to put up with his antics, and I don't think nobody else would put up with that,
Yeah.
especially not the podcast, especially not the podcast. All
Nope.
right. Well, the playoffs coming. The Knicks, you told me what's popping with them. You said they got a good chance unless they sell the Celtics or Pacers. So it looks like they're gonna be in the mix like the rest of them, and they ain't, I don't know if they're gonna get a championship this year, coach. I don't know. It
You
could
never
happen
know.
though.
You
It could
never
happen.
know.
Other injuries happened to the Knicks last year, and the injuries could happen to the other teams. So
I'll tell
who
you this:
knows?
a Knicks championship, New York City will explode if that happens.
Yeah, it will. It will. I'll be at some of the games, so it's gonna be crazy. I was at the Knicks playoffs last year, and it was lit. It was definitely a time to be alive.
Trae Young,
Um,
we don't rock with you
I hope they play the Hawks in the playoffs, please.
here.
Please. Okay. Well, we'll move to the Mets since it's baseball season is about to come back in about a month and a half.
Okay.
The Mets, they lost to the Dodgers in the playoffs. I
Yep.
actually was at one of the games. They did improve this offseason. Are the Mets gonna be the ones running the parade? They got Soto now. They just added somebody from the Cardinals. Who they add?
Um, what's his name? I forgot his name, but it
They
was.
added Pete Alonso.
Oh yeah, no. Well, it was a they re-signed Pete Alonso. Yeah,
They redesigned Pete Alonso.
they
Yeah.
re-signed him. Yeah, he was. We got him on a 2-year deal now. So I think.
Nolan Arenado. Sorry. That's the
Oh, okay.
name.
Yeah, Nolan Arenado. Yeah.
So I'm not the baseball connoisseur, y'all. Like, I know some things, but we
Yeah,
don't
he's
have a lot
a
of,
third base. He's good. I
Oh,
didn't
he's
know.
nice.
Yeah.
10-time Golden Glove Award winner. Wow.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
good.
So the
We got.
Mets should
He's a
they have a
little. He's getting on the older side, but he's good.
so the Mets should have a better season than they did last year. Is that correct?
Well,
On paper?
on paper, yes, but on paper, the Mets weren't even supposed to make the playoffs last year, and they
Oh.
made it all the way to the National League Championship game. So, thing with playoff baseball is if you get in, anybody can make a run. Playoff baseball is
Thanks.
just one of those things. So, yes, on paper, we're a better team. So, but that doesn't even mean we will make the playoffs. I think that what we could still, if we were able to make the championship game in the NL this year, anything's possible, Coach.
Facts. Off season still, baseball just coming back, so there ain't really too much to go off with that other than what everyone knows. Soto's on the team now. They didn't really lose. Did they lose anybody?
I think some of the
They didn't really
pitching,
lose nobody, did they?
some of their pitching, they're like
Yeah,
still,
but like
but nobody big. Yeah,
bullpen
yeah,
stuff.
all
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
bullpen stuff. Okay. And then we gonna slide it on to the most pitiful New York franchise out there. This might be the worst run organization in New York. Would you say that? Is the Jets the worst run organization in New York?
I unfortunately I'm going to have to agree with you there. I think yeah, it's been pretty brutal, pretty brutal.
Why? What do you think it is, man? Do you think they need to change? Like, they always change the uniforms. They always change the players. what what is it about the Jets that just can't get over themselves?
Honestly, they're a cursed franchise. I mean, plain and
Where
simple.
does where does the curse from though? What's the curse?
Way before my time, it was
But curses usually come from something. Like, they had to have done something to garner this curse.
no.
Like,
They, I don't even know where the origination was from. All I know is that the last time the Jets won a Super Bowl, my dad, who's 60 years old right now, was 5 years old. So, you know, I think it's been pretty miserable. And it's like every person we pick in the draft just turns to crap. I mean, we had Sam Darnold. He was terrible. we then Zach Wilson. That's a whole different story. And this Super Bowl, we have Mekhi Becton on the Eagles, and we had the punter Braden Mann. No disrespect to the punter, but both former Jets won a Super Bowl this year. So it's like everybody that leaves us, and Becton, Mekhi Becton, as you probably know, injury riddled his whole career, but then leaves the New York Jets, and now he's a Super Bowl winning offensive lineman. So there's something within that organization that needs to change, and I think Robert Saleh tried his best, but is really all brakes, no gas. As Robert Saleh like to say, all gas, no brakes. I say it's all brakes, no gas. So, something's got to change.
Well, I looked it up just now, and it says that there is a curse, and the curse comes from Joe Namath when he said he guarantees that the Jets would win the Super Bowl in 1969, and
I didn't know
they
this.
they won. They lost that game, or they won the game. Did they
I
win that game?
I thought they won that. I thought they
You
won.
should know if the Jets have won a Super
No,
Bowl
no,
or
no.
not.
Jets won. They have one Super Bowl win.
Okay,
But
so yes, they won that
they,
Super Bowl, but he
yeah,
guaranteed it.
they won that game.
Okay, yeah. They won the game, but then they said that's a curse because he guaranteed that. But in saying I guarantee that, it cursed the franchise. That's kind of what I'm seeing
That makes
online.
no sense. Then they won the game.
It said negative fans have suggested negative forces have been at work against the team since Joe Namath named the Super Bowl guarantee in 1969. Um, that's just what Google is telling me. And then the chant for the team, the JETS chants, that was started in the year after they won, 1970. So maybe the chants. That's funny, actually. Y'all do.
Coach.
Look, I can't help but laugh because you was the one. This man right here, y'all at home don't know. He was guaranteeing that the Jets would make the playoffs and they would be better than the Chiefs this past season. Guaranteed it. And I just laughed it off. I'm like, you gonna be sad at the
You
end of the
remember when
season.
Zach
I'm gonna be
Wilson?
glad.
Remember when Zach Wilson was picking apart KC on Thursday Night Football?
They lost that game though.
Okay, but they Zach Wilson made you guys look stupid.
Look, Zach Wilson lost that game, coach. And Zach Wilson, last I checked, is a backup now for I don't even know who, the Broncos, maybe? He's backup for Bo Nix, I think.
Broncos.
So and he made the playoffs now. He finally made the playoffs. So you move on for the Jets, you might make the playoffs or even get a Super Bowl ring. What's up with Rodgers, man? Are you happy? You want him to stay with the team, or are you sad that he's leaving?
No,
You sad?
I was a Ron. No, I'm not sad. Well, he's going to join the Giants apparently now, so he's going to be on a crosstown rival. I don't know if you heard about that, but the Giants are looking to sign him. I'm happy he's gone. I thought that he was just after. It's hard to recover from a torn ACL. So, I think he's time. It's time for him to go. Time for another silent retreat, and he can get out of the Jets organization because he didn't do anything that he said he was going to do. So
Yeah, he had a lot of promises, and he delivered on
everybody
none
fired.
of those.
He got everybody fired, and he made Jets more of a laughing stock than they already are.
He did get a lot of people fired. Dang. That's cold blooded. And the only other people left on the roster as quarterback, I think, is Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Travis, and Adrian Martinez. What they gonna do about quarterbacks? Who's gonna start for the Jets in 2025?
Well, I like Tyrod Taylor, but he's a backup, and I don't know, if he's really got the stuff to start. But I know that the guys in the locker room respect him, so I think that that's a viable option. Jordan Travis is playing on one leg. He broke his leg at FSU, so I don't really see that as a viable option right now. But I hear that Jets are eyeing up Justin Fields. So, I think Justin Fields I think he's good. I think that he would be a good option with Tyrod Taylor. They kind of have similar play styles. I think Fields and Taylor, they could do like a little Taysom Hill thing where, with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, how they did it, switch on and off. I think that we
Yeah.
could see something like that.
You don't think they should draft a quarterback? Because the Jets have the 7th pick in the draft.
Nobody's
And
going to be left.
well, this is just a mock that I'm saying right now is obviously Cam Wharton, Shador Sanders are going to go before that. And they don't have another quarterback going after that until like mid-late first round. They could get Dart. You think they should pick up him?
No, no, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think the next QB, I don't see another QB estimated to be taken in the first round.
Because
Yeah, I don't.
none of them are good. The only good one is Cam Moore. Really,
You don't think Shador Sanders is good?
I think he's all talk. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, well, they have him going to the Giants right now, so you'll get to see the talk close and personal. They have the Jets taking. Well, this is just on Tankathon.com. The Jets taking Terrier McMillan from the Arizona Wildcats, the big tall receiver. I think he's probably the best receiver in the draft, even with Travis Hunter.
We don't
You
need
do.
more receivers, bro. We got Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson wants to be traded though. I'm pretty sure he wants to get out of New York.
No, that ain't happening. We're franchise
I'm
tag.
pretty. I'm pretty sure he asked for a trade.
Is that real? Are you serious? Did I miss that?
I just looked rumors about a trade for Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson has circulated with possible destinations. Rumors.
No, he ain't going anywhere. Sauce ain't going
Okay.
anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. Sauce ain't going anywhere.
They want to pay him a lot of money.
Brees Hall might get traded.
Mess. Just a mess. Just a mess. So what do you think the Jets should draft? Like what position?
I think that they should Google Georgia, Alabama, all the big Southern schools, and type in every off, and then filter out a sheet by offensive line, and then filter it down by weight, and then take the highest weight offensive lineman from those top schools, and that's who they should draft. They got a quarterback.
Okay, well, SEC, the top offensive lineman is Will Campbell. He's nice. LSU.
We got to take an offensive line. We got to take
Armand Menbu from Mizzou. He's going to go first round for sure. He's the guy who was yelling and screaming during his 40 time. Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle, Texas. That's all SEC right there. They're all projected to go top 15. So I think one of those three. Josh Simmons, Ohio State. And then Josh Cornley Jr. from Oregon. Outside of that, it's going to be one of those. Those are the only offensive linemen that are projected in the first round. And Josh Simmons, yeah.
That's what we got to do. I think that this QB stuff is noise. We're not going to take – we take another rookie quarterback, it's going to be the whole same nonsense of, he's got to get his reps in, and, there's going to be growing pains and this. No, the Jets are ready to win now. And, at least I think so. While we still got some superstars on the roster, let's try to make a run at this thing.
So you think the Jets should wait and pick a quarterback later and try and like play him back up to Tyrod Taylor, have him teach them for a year, maybe two, and then go from there?
I like that idea. I honestly, or if they don't pick somebody, I think my first hope would be if they if they get Justin Fields and then have him back up Tyrod Taylor. And if Tyrod Taylor sucks, then put Fields in, or let them both play and see, who, if they can make both of them work.
So the rest of these quarterbacks, I'd say, what round do you think the Jets should pick up quarterback in then?
If they were to pick up one,
yeah,
they should wait till later in the drafts.
Like 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, you got to understand that quarterback drafts are as crazy as lottery picks. Like Brock Purdy was taking the last pick in the draft, and dude made the Super Bowl. So Jets doesn't matter if they pick 1 or pick 500. It's not going to matter when the coaching is all screwed. I like our new coach this year. I don't know. We didn't talk about that, but the Jets, they have a new coach. It's a new system, clean house. Like something's got to change. I mean, how important was that to you? Having good coaches in the system, and your overall satisfaction with how things were going and stuff.
Yeah, no, Jets coach is important. I like that they hired a black coach, but they better not set him up for failure. That's all I gotta say. Shout out Aaron Glenn, man. He was with the Lions, and now he's with the Jets, and he's like they all say, I'm an old school coach. We're gonna do things like this. One thing I wasn't. I like Salah, but one thing about him that was like, for me was just I feel like he garnered a lot of attention as a head coach. Like the head coach shouldn't be garnering a lot of attention himself. And I don't know if it's to his fault or not, but maybe because he's like he was a strength and conditioning coach before, I believe, correct? And he just has a big presence. And the things he said were very bold-ish statements. And
Right.
I think that didn't help when they didn't come through because I think the guys liked him. I think the team liked him. But I just think he was setting the bar so high to
Right.
where it was just like, man, like we like you, but you just kind of set yourself up. And
Yeah.
then he gave Aaron Rodgers everything he wanted. He had no backbone. I mean, I don't know if it was his fault or the over higher than him when it came to Aaron Rodgers, but him and Aaron
I,
Rodgers didn't get along.
I agree. Yeah, it was a failure. It's terrible.
But I blame Aaron Rodgers for that more so. But yes, this new coach, he is a black coach, and he added Steve Wilkes to his coaching staff, and then Aaron Curry. And those so good, more brothers. You're gonna have a lot of black coaches on the squad, coach. You better get ready.
Whatever gets the job done. I don't care if they're black, white, Indian, Chinese. If they could bring us a championship, I'll be happy.
Okay, well, shout out. I'm gonna root for him. I'm gonna root for this new coach. So shout out Aaron Glenn in the building. And so yeah, you said you want the Jets to pick. Lastly, you said you want the Jets to pick a quarterback in the later round. So I'm just gonna throw out some names. You watch college football, don't you?
A little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out some of these names, and you can tell me which one you think you might like. So we got Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milrow, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, Cam Rising, Graham Mertz, Kansas City native, Brady Cook, Mizzou, Will Rogers, Max Bromser, Curtis Rourke, Taylor Elgersma, and Kyle McCord. Any of those, and he went to Syracuse, so New York. Any of those intrigue you at all?
I liked Ewers, honestly. He's the guy. He's Texas, right? With Archie Manning. Yeah, or
Mhm.
not Archie. The Manning brother. I think he's good. I think that out of those, he's he's got a really accurate arm. I've seen some of his highlights too. I think he's good. The rest of those names, I mean, they're all solid, right? But I think quarterback is the hardest pick to get right in the NFL draft, and it's purely based on system. So you put Aaron Rodgers in a terrible system, he's going to tear his ACL in the first play of his career on that team. So
Thanks.
it's tough. So I don't know. I'm not really on one of those jet bandwagon things to say, we got to draft a quarterback, got to draft a quarterback. Like it's not
Yeah,
that.
I think this draft is a weaker when it comes to quarterback, and you shouldn't pick a quarterback unless you're getting the one Cam Ward or Shador Sanders in the first round, in my opinion. I mean, even them in most drafts, like I don't, if they came out last year, I don't think they would be first round quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think you kind of just got to take what you get. Me personally, the Jets, if if they think they're gonna lose, they need to figure out what they're gonna do with old boy at receiver first, before the draft. And then if they keep him, no receiver. If they get rid of him, they need one. I mean, their best one's Alan Lazard at that point.
Right.
So they need to take that offensive line, of course, defensive line, and linebacker. I think those are the weakest Jets positions, just seeing them from last year. I mean, their starting linebackers are Jamie Sherwood, Quincy Williams, and Hassan Reddick. Which Hassan Reddick's he's a defensive end.
Right.
So they don't. CJ Mosley's a backup, which I don't even know how. I guess he regressed, but yeah, I don't know any of these guys' names.
He's not
That's
a backup.
linebackers. I've never heard of none of these dudes.
Yeah. Most
So,
of the names.
and then I guess lastly, are you sad Devontae Adams is gone?
Not even the slightest.
Really?
He wasn't
Why
that
not?
good for us. He came in. He said, "Oh, I'm teaming up with my bro Aaron Rodgers." They did this whole podcast thing. They did how this whole epic introduction. But what did he do for us? Nothing. Squat. Zero. So I'm done with these superstars chasing after New York and oh, I'm going to go to the headlights and this and that. Stay out. That's my message. If you're a superstar, stay out because you're going to curse yourself. So let's develop some okay talent. And I think that I want the spotlight to be out of us. I don't want the media. I don't like the media attention. I don't want the cameras on anybody. Let's just go to work and let's see what happens.
We're going to see what happens, y'all. I just got the 7th pick in the draft. Hopefully I can make it out there to see it live. Still working on that as we speak. And that's the New York rundown with Coach J, man. If you liked what he said, give him a thumbs up. If you thought he was crazy for Cocoa Puffs, you can leave a comment and state your objection. But that's it for this first episode of the Wayne Network Podcast Edition. Episode 1 is down with the sports recap for New York. I might give one for KC soon, because we got a couple things to fix. Not too many things, but we still the champs though. We still in dynasty mode right now. But thank you, Coach Jay, for coming through. If
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
we'll see him again soon. I'll probably have to bring him back on once the playoffs are about to start.
Let's do
Or
it.
if St. John's makes a run. I don't know. Are you a St. John's fan?
They're long. I don't really. I wouldn't say I'm a Saint. I'm a Hofstra alum. So.
No. Okay. Well, we'll probably see him again once baseball season's underway and then the playoffs are about to start. Then we can get his kind of take on the Knicks playoffs because and then I think that'll be after the draft too. So we can see talking about all those things. We can run back to it. So that's about a good month-ish away. So we'll give him some time. Enjoy, the peace and quiet for now, but it's about to be on and cracking again soon. But all right, y'all at home, peace and blessings, y'all. Deuces until next time. And as always, have a great rest of your day. We